This is the Investor Mindset Podcast. Going from that place of being fueled by negativity, being fueled by that thing that you don't want, it's always in the back of your mind, meaning you're thinking about it and therefore you're manifesting it in some ways. But when you use that, you might end up having that success or that achievement, but there's always something that's missing. And usually when I'm talking with high performers, what I've noticed is they've shifted over. They've ended up being able to look forward and what they want and focus their energy there. So I think that's beautiful. And so what I'm curious about is, from your perspective, what does it take and how does one live with a high performance mindset?
What's it take? Well, I always go off of my 3 C's, man. I stick with this and it's very simple for me. I talk about rocket fuel a lot, but I don't get into rocket science. So I keep things simple. First and foremost, clarity of what you want and being really vivid with that, like that image. I learned a vivid vision statements from my friend Cameron Harold, who's a business scaling specialist, operations specialist. And he talks about vivid vision. And I really believe your imagination is where everything starts. So I get this like vision in my head. I get it out of my head as fast as possible by talking about it all the time and writing it down. And then from there, deciding and committing that that's what I want to go after. So that's the second C, is committing. And to the level of your commitment will determine your success in going after that crazy vision. By the way, when you're talking about clarity, anytime you're talking about clarity on a vision, that vision's got to be monstrous, because we have no idea what our potential is. And so since we have no idea what our real true potential is, and we can't really judge the past because that'll limit you so much, you have to take all limitations off. And in a perfect situation, what would that clear picture be? Then you commit, all in commit, like nobody's business, like not 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Like you got to be all butt cheeks in, man, everything. And not when, not just sometimes or when people are looking, but when nobody's there, you still got to be committed and do what you need to do. Then from there, it's consistency. And it's just like anything, man. Like these little things you do every single day that are boring, that you get tired of, you don't feel like doing, gets tough. Just those little consistent actions. And then a year from now, you don't even recognize yourself. And then one final thing with those consistent actions, which I learned from Price Pritchett from U Squared, the book U Squared, is you got to be open to quantum leaps. Like it's okay to go after onesie twosies, like flipping houses, onesie twosies, right? But you got to be open to multiples. And that's it. You got multifamily residences, right? Now you're not going after one door, you're going after hundreds of doors. You got to be open to multiple or big leaps in your life too. Because if you're not, and you're just going after onesie twosies and you don't open yourself up to that, again, you're limiting yourself to the life that you deserve.
Yeah, it's such a big realization. Everything starts with clarity. Everything starts with knowing what you want and why you want it. If you don't start there, you're going to end up getting something that's outside of what you want. You're going to let other people determine what it is that they want, and you're going to end up being the deliverer of that. So I think that's a beautiful place, which is surprising because it's so simple, yet so few people are actively getting to that point of clarity over and over.
Well, you know why? It's another C word. Okay. Lack of control, right? Lack of control will lead to chaos. I think that's, chaos. See, another C word. And then confusion, another C word. Like you could do everything with C words, which is cool because my last name starts with C, C-Roc. Everything with C words, right? If you're out of control and you're under control by somebody else, because you're going to be controlled by something. It's either yourself or under control by someone else. And most people are controlled by the media and their environment, the people that they hang around with. But that leads to chaos and confusion. And when you have chaos and confusion, it's impossible to be clear and or successful. So a champion, no C word.
Yeah, I love that. I can appreciate that. So what do you think, in your opinion, Mike, what holds most people back from getting what they want and from taking the action they need to get there?
Well, a couple of things. One is thinking big enough, because if you don't think big enough, you're not going to do what it takes because it doesn't excite you enough. So that's one. And you'll always come up short. So that's one. The other thing is that most people don't know the exact steps to achieve something. And you could Google things, you can go do courses, you can do all these different things, but they don't have the exact granular steps. And one thing about this, I realized this in my life, Stephen, is I realized that I didn't have the steps to achieve things. And I'm a hardhead and I'm very, very persistent. And when I want something, I go get it. But because I didn't know exactly how to do it, and I'm talking about granular steps, what to do first, what to do next. If this happens, what do I do? Like I had so much time, money, energy wasted. My relationships suffered, stress, health, all these different things suffered because I didn't have the granular steps. And in my life, instead of complaining about that or being regretful, I did something about it. And so that's a kind of a segue into like this tech product that I started, this platform called Blueprinted, which allows experts in all different categories or industries to provide step-by-step process guides to achieve things, not a course, but a step-by-step guide, actionable items to achieve something. And that's what's holding people back.
Let's start over. Let's see here. You cut out there in the middle, Mike, when you were explaining what holds most people back from taking action. And then all I heard was the very end part about Blueprint. Would you mind if we just start fresh from the top?
No, not at all. And I just want to make sure my connection's good. Like,
that'd be good. That'd be great.
Am I still freezing up at all?
No, you're good. It looks like you're back. We just dropped out for a second.
Okay. So do you want to ask the question again?
Yeah. So I don't remember what the question was. Okay. So I got it.
What's holding people back?
Yeah. What's holding most people back from taking action and getting results?
What's holding most people back is they don't think big enough. Like they don't get excited about what they're shooting for. Or before that, even this is important too. Most people don't even know what they want. Let's face it. 95% of people probably, if you ask the question, in a perfect world, what would you want in your life? What's your ideal life? They'd have to think about it really hard because they haven't done it yet. But beyond that, when they do, they don't think big enough. And when you don't think big enough, you don't get excited enough to do what it takes to get to having that life of your dreams. But what I found out in my life is that people don't know the granular step-by-step process to achieve certain things. They don't know where to go. And if they do go to Google or YouTube or courses, they get confused. You cannot have success when there's confusion. So I realized this in my life. When I wanted something, I would go out and get it because I'm so persistent, but I would cost myself time, money, relationships, health, but I would still get it. It would just cost all that stuff. And instead of complaining and being regretful, I started thinking in my life, what if I was able to have the step-by-step process to achieve all the things I wanted to in my life? And I said, what if we created a marketplace where we could bring experts and creators in to provide step-by-step guides to achieve different categories, different goals, and provide that to people to go and buy. So it's very clear and apparent and easy to follow to achieve things. And that's why, like I said, this is a great segue into Blueprinted.
Thank you for listening to the Investor Mindset Podcast. If you like what you heard, make sure to rate, review, subscribe, and share with a friend. Head over to theinvestormindset.com to join the Insider Club, where we share tools and strategies from the top investors and entrepreneurs on how to take it to the next level.